When it occurred, when we got in the car, something clicked, and I just said, Father, please don't let me have to f this guy up. Those are my exact thoughts. Because when we shut the door, I heard something click, and it didn't sound right. That makes sense? I heard something in the door and it click. You understand? So when he got in, we were driving on down, da-da-da-da. I was like, all right, well, turn right here in Coliseum. And he turned left. Then I knew I was in danger. So what I did, I went to reach to roll the window down, and there was no knob. So I reached again to open the door. There was no knob. And at that time, I looked at him, and I looked back, and I looked at him, and he had a belt wrapped around his fist. And then we stopped, and we parked. He said, now, I'll never forget these words. He said, now, let me stick it in, and I'll take you home. I said, what? He said, let me stick it in, and I'll take you home. I said, no, I ain't letting you stick it in. You know what I mean? Then he came, boom, to punch me, and I blocked it. Psh, and I hit him, bam, just like that, and I ran to the back of the van. When I ran to the back of the van, I thought I was safe too. Ran to the back of the van and bust out. It was a big chain on it and lock, a big cow chain and lock. I was like, and here he come back, and he was on his way back to the back of the van. I ran back through, boom, to bust through him, to bust out his side of the door, because mine was locked. That makes sense? And when I went to bust out his side of the door, he grabbed my feet by my ankles, and he pulled me back. Whoosh, flipped me over, and he was on top of me, looking me in my face, just like that. And he said, now let me stick it in, and I'll take you home. I said, no, get off me. And you'll never sin. I'll never say anything. I'll never tell Benita. Benita will never see me again, and you'll never see me again. Just get off me. He said, no. Let me stick it in. His voice got stronger and stronger, you know what I mean? So he's becoming angry, and I felt his intensity. That makes sense? He said, let me stick it in or take it on. He got really angry. I felt his energy, like he was going to smash me. And I said, okay. So when I did that, he got off my wrist, because he was on my wrist looking me smack dead in my damn face, When he got off my wrist, that's I slid that motherfucker, schwab! Got up, wham, got up against the wall, wham, I got up against the back of the van there. I was like, yeah, come on, motherfucker. Wham, I was open, wham, pop! Something back over here, tear, leg kick, whop! When I came back over again, I was like, yeah, he's coming. I kept moving back and forth to the van. I was like, yeah, bam, yeah, leg kick. Then I saw fear in his eyes. That makes sense? And when I saw fear in his eyes, I knew I got it. Becoming angry, and I felt his intensity. That makes sense? He said, let me stick it in or take it on. He got really angry. I felt his energy, like he was going to smash me. And I said, okay. So when I did that, he got off my wrist, because he was on my wrist looking me smack dead in my damn face. When he got off my wrist, that's I slid that motherfucker, schwab! Got up, wham, got up against the wall, wham, I got up against the back of the van there. I was like, yeah, come on, motherfucker. Wham, I was open, wham, pop! Something back over here, tear, leg kick, whop! When I came back over again, I was like, yeah, he's coming. I kept moving back and forth to the van. I was like, yeah, bam, yeah, leg kick. Then I saw fear in his eyes. That makes sense? And when I saw fear in his eyes, I knew I got him. Now it's a matter of, now I took care of the left leg, now let me take care of the right leg. Now, yop! Yeah, yop! He said, oh, you want to fighting? And he come running at me, woo, 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 like a football player, and boom, slammed me up against the van, bam! And I felt something, and I was like, don't give up now. So I grabbed the end of his shirt tail, slam! I run there and grabbed his pants, jammed up the chest, I grabbed his. I said, where the keys at, motherfucker? He said, in my pocket, get off. Oh. Now you want me to get out the van. When I wanted to get out, I had to let you stick it in. Where the keys at? I got them out. There's a bunch of keys. I was like, which ones? He was like, it's the orange ones. So I took them. I held on to his and I slid him all the way over to the door. All I pulled the lock off. Get out. Shut up. Pulled the chain off. Open the door. Wow, open the door open real good. I said, now if ever you see me on the streets, what are you going to say? He said, hi. I was like, bam. You know you're not just gonna go the opposite direction. Do you understand me, mother? Hey, yeah, get out the van, get out the van, get out. I didn't know it could go that high. I had this motherfucker. I'm telling you. I said one more thing. He's like, what? Get out the van, get out this van. I said, when the says no, she means no. I went, bam! Jumped out the van and wasn't nothing but fog. That's all it was fog out that month. I couldn't see shit. I was falling, and finally I saw these two little lights and I focused on those two little. Do you understand me, mother? Hey, yeah, get out the van, get out the van, get out. I didn't know it could go that high. I had this motherfucker. I'm telling you. I said one more thing. He's like, what? Get out the van, get out this van. I said, when the says no, she means no. I went, bam! Jumped out the van and wasn't nothing but fog. That's all it was fog out that month. I couldn't see shit. I was falling, and finally I saw these two little lights and I focused on those two little lights. That makes sense? So I followed those two little lights all the way down, and as the closer I got, the bigger the lights got. So finally I got on the other side of the lights, and guess what I saw? Guess what I saw? A cab driver sitting there, old white man. I said, listen, this guy tried to please take me home. He got me. He said, chop on in, what's the address? We went on there, my hanging out and one damn shoe, one earring. You know, it was just crazy. It was really a fight for my life, I kid you not. So I get back to Cloverdale, and I realized that I don't have keys or anything. They'd all left in the van, and I went to, open the door, and I went to tell him, listen, I don't have it. I looked back, he was gone. This guy was gone. So I looked down. I was like, I just ran to the back, and Freida, bam, Freida. They opened up, girl, what's wrong with you? I said, this guy tried to. I said, give me a phone. I called my mom. I said, this guy tried to me. I want to get out of California now. I want to get out of California right now. I want to get out of here. I never want to come back. I had to be serious, let him know. I went out. My mother said, okay, fine, let's call my father's people. Call my father's people. They said, you'll be on the next flight. Next thing I know, I was the next emergency flight back to Philadelphia, and my whole family was there. I had no intention of ever coming back to California. Ever, okay? Never. Never. The only reason why I came back is because of the World Championship fight. And that's because it was on the other side of Southern California.
Did you feel after the fact like, that was pretty bad of me? Or were you still scared?
No, I was terrified. On the airplane, I was terrified. In fact, I could hear everyone talking. I could hear a pen drop. That's how sharp my skills had become. That makes sense? I could hear my was sharp. And it was, everything was amplified. I didn't understand it, but I went along with the flow. I had no other choice. They gave me pills to calm me down. When I got to my family, same thing. And I kept having nightmares. I kept waking up fighting, and I kept having nightmares. I kept waking up fighting, and I'll never forget my mom saying to me, did he rape you? I said, no. She said, well then, God damn it, it was a fight, and you won the fight. Do you understand me? And it made sense. That makes sense. Then she slapped the shit out of me, pah! And she slapped my spirit one side of the face, the other side, and then it all made sense. That makes sense? But it was like she had to slap the sense back into me. That makes sense?
Did you agree with her? Did you see it as a fight at that point?
It helped me. It helped me a lot. It did. It's all cause that's what I had stuck in my head. I kept waking up. I couldn't sleep sometimes. I would walk the street. It was just crazy. It was just the crazy experience I ever had in my life.
Did you feel like you had to go through a whole new healing process when you found out the truth?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
How you found that out and what that was like?
The truth about who he was? Yeah, first of all, I never ever said this to anyone. I just shared it with my girlfriend just recently, but I never ever shared this with anyone. Throughout the time, before I learned who he was, All my life, I looked over my shoulder to make sure that I never ran into him. That makes sense? I never ever told anyone that. So I was always looking over my shoulder, making sure I didn't run into him. You know, and I sought therapy for that. My mom, listen, sissy, I need you to go to therapy for this here because I'm not going to be around all the time. So I need you to start training and preparing yourself to open yourself up to other people, not just me and your grandmother, because we're not going to be here all the time. You dig? So I started going to therapy for that purpose, and it actually helped me out. It helped me to create this short story, which ultimately came to my story with Sideline going viral, which, you know, got gold cast, which of course you guys came, and all you guys, 17 million views, so that's how it all came about. You know, just by me going to therapy and talking about it, and then wanting to see it from the other side. That makes sense?
Yeah, and what an incredible way to look at therapy as another training.
Yeah, it was another training.
And how did you find out the truth?
The truth, I was, God works in mysterious ways. First of all, I want to say this here. I'll never forget this here magazine. It was called the LA Weekly that was dropped on my step. And it said The Grim Sleeper. The Grim Sleeper was him. I didn't know that. But it was right there on my step. Then as years went on, I'll never forget I was retired and, I was coming in from the gym and I turned the TV on and I saw him right there. When I saw him right there, I had all that energy and everything that came back, us fighting, everything, that eye contact, everything, it all came. I was reliving everything and I freaked out and I called my mom and I called my grandmother. I was like, you know the guy tried to 15 years ago, 15 years, he's on TV, like, turn it on right now. Call my grandma, turn it on right now. You know what I mean? And my mom was the one who told me not to bother with the case. She said, he didn't rape you, don't bother with it, let it go. Because I was like, yeah, I want to confront that motherfucker. This is what I was thinking. Yeah, I want to confront him, yeah. You know, that's really what I was thinking. But my mom said, don't even bother with the case, let it go. You don't need to be a part of it.